It's Craig with Craig's To-Do List, and I'm here again with another segment of Book Buzz. I'm speaking with Ethan Spelman, who is the author of a cool new book called Leadership Over Loneliness. I love this title. Ethan, talk a little bit about what's your inspiration for writing this book. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Glad to be here, Craig.
Okay, and then talk a little bit about your inspiration for this book and your personal story and how that prompted this.
Yep. So I appreciate being here. The premise behind this book initially, it's been years in the making, kind of a labor of love, where I have, over the years, tried to collect different sayings, different memories, different things about my life, and to kind of chronicle it over time. And when it really came down to push came to shove with the book, I had started my leadership journey, and I really started to see a shift in myself and who I was, and that kind of guided me into, hey, this could really be something. And so I started with the whole premise of the book, kind of told my story in the first half, but transitioned and used my whole love of leadership to kind of define what the second half was going to be and what my life has now become.
So talk a little bit about the loneliness element of this. That's something that that's not a word I normally see paired with leadership. And so do you feel like if you're a good leader, you're never lonely, or is it the opposite? If you're a good leader, you're always lonely?
All right, so now you're pushing me to be vulnerable here a little bit. So the loneliness part is the past for me, and my growing up and what my experiences were growing up. A lot of different stories that I'm not going to preface what's in the book. It's in there, but and I put myself in a position where I felt alone in a lot of different aspects of my life, and even including my business life when I was trying to figure that out. And it wasn't until I really found out what leadership was that I started understanding, you know what, I became a lot less feeling of emptiness when I was able to help and lead others, and I was able to kind of feed off of them. So that's where the loneliness comes from, which was the past as I've transitioned in, really tried to take that leadership piece that has become more fulfilling for me and kind of remove that feeling of loneliness that was battling with me for years.
So do you think connection and human connection is crucial to good leadership?
100%. And I write about that in the book. That connection is one of the 4 C's, as I call it, that I believe is important. And it's how we connect, how we listen to people, and really make ourselves, as in this, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share, and it's okay to learn. And the only way we can do that is to listen to people and connect with them.
So I'm assuming that you think empathy is really important for leadership. What other qualities make a really good leader, in your opinion?
One that's really come to light recently in my career is the value of empowerment. I think we as leaders sometimes can get to the point where we want to control everything. And I think being able to empower our people to grow alongside us and watch them succeed is a huge piece of that. And so, as we as leaders continue to evolve in what we try to do, and as I've evolved, really empowering our people around us to find the success and find their path, and it's not for us to define it for them. Us as leaders we're made to meet people where they are, not drag them to where we want them to be.
So it sounds like you really value the importance of an individual as part of the team, as opposed and making sure that everyone has their own individual skill set and nurtures that. Correct?
Correct. Yes. I mean, everybody. It's getting to know people. I spent today just kind of walking around in a couple of our offices and just sitting down and learning what's important to people. And again, it's not about me. As a leader, it's not about us. One of my favorite chapters in the book, I titled it, Be Self-Aware, Not Self-Absorbed. And I think that a lot of that comes from that kind of saying, is just make sure that you realize when you're checking your ego at the door the minute you walk in and you're leading a team. We all have goals. We all have, we're driven to try to get to some destination. But at the same time, if we're doing it amongst people and making it about them, you're going to get a lot more buy-in.
So let's talk a little bit about, in your opinion, how is this, view or image of a leader sort of changed and evolved recently? Just you have all these stories. I worked in Hollywood a lot, so I know a lot about abusive bosses. But so I'm just saying, hasn't the idea of a good leader sort of morphed into something a little bit softer and a little bit more humane over the last, say, 20 years? Is that how you're seeing it? And do you think that is something we should continue with?
Much more people-centric, I believe. But I still believe there is such a long way to go. The value of coaching individuals and leaders to be able to continue to invest in yourself. I think a lot of times businesses can fall in the trap of just, hey, you've been here for 20 years, you're going to be a manager, you're going to be a leader. And then it just stops there. And so what's really worked for me, and I know others that I've seen as successful leaders or that I view as mentors, is they taught me the value of investing in themselves and making sure that they're doing what they can to continue to learn and realize that you don't have it figured out from the minute you get that title on your business card.
Right. So I think part of that is leading by example as well, and understanding that everyone is flawed and everyone makes mistakes, and it's not expecting somebody to be perfect all the time.
No, I another common theme in the book is we are all a work in progress.
Right.
And what I'll tell people is you can show up every single day, but if you walk in every day figuring that you are going to give 100% every single day, you're setting yourself up for failure. Be 100% of what you've got to give, and then as a leader, be open to that person being able to do that. I think you, again, foster that team and that relationship that way.
Right, because I think if people have too much pressure on them to be perfect, or they have too many things going on at once, sometimes that terrifies them, and it can, not empower them to finish the job.
Correct, and sometimes it's just about pressing pause, taking a step back, reassessing, and then just having that open conversation to make sure that you're on the right path.
Do you think great leaders are born, or are they made, or is it a combination, or is there something specific? I use pop cultural references all the time. I love The Crown, right? And one of the things about The Crown is Queen Elizabeth, just at 25, suddenly has to be queen. She didn't want to. She was just minding her own business. And then it's all about over the years and how she becomes this fantastic leader. Do you think it's a combination of both? Do you think there's certain qualities that people are born with that would make them a good leader?
I think everybody is born with the quality, but it's not everybody that is born with the desire to do it, right? And I think, and then that goes back to the developing and the evolving and being open to that, and not just kind of being set in your ways, because I've seen leaders fail, and I quote them as managers, because I think even as a leader you have to manage, but I think there's some people that can't get out of the manager mindset, and so to be able to lead, I think you're really setting yourself up that everybody has to kind of pool together and really be able to share that common thread.
Right. So you also do life coaching as well. Is that mainly for leaders or for just anybody that's interested in improving themselves?
No, I do. I have a passion of certified life coach, and for both leaders and for individuals. Mm-hmm. So I work both ways. Coaching's been such a big part of my life. I've learned a lot through just studying what it's supposed to be. I used to think I knew what it was. And even now I can envision 5 years from now, it's going to mean something completely different. But again, it's about the person that you're with, not necessarily me.
Right. So I know everybody has their own obstacles and their own demons that prevent them from achieving. Is there a common one that you've seen people that you coach that that prevents people from just moving forward? Is it fear, or is it, is there something common that you've seen people that all of a sudden you help them and this light goes off? Like, I didn't see that before.
Fear is obviously a big one, right? I think fear is a big motivator one way or the other in life. Anything that happens in your life that creates fear, you're either going to stop or you're going to try to plow through it. But I think the bigger word there is clarity. I think everybody is looking for a clear path. And that's where the coaching comes into play, because I may see it, you may see it, but if I'm coaching you, my job is to try to help you see it, not what I see. And so gaining clarity through that conversation and through that interaction through coaching, I think is the key piece. That'll help people move forward.
That sounds cool. Well, thank you for coming by. And again, the book is called Leadership Over Loneliness, and it's available online, any place?
Amazon.
Right? Yep. Amazon. Yep. So I will put links to Ethan's website and links to where you can buy the book in this story. Ethan, thanks for coming by today.
Craig, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You can see arts and entertainment stories on our website under Craig's To-Do List.